Okay, so what I'm going to do for this video is I'm going to describe the images that I see in English in a way that I hope will be fairly normal, something that somebody can follow if they are trying to learn English. And people who are learning English, those are the people for whom I am primarily concerned in this video. I got this idea from Kome. Um, Kome of Kome's channel on YouTube. He did this in Japanese, which I am learning. And so what I'm going to do is something similar to what he did. So let's begin. The first image, I'm on Google Wikimedia Commons. There are lots of images here, so they should be free. I see a bunch of trees. There's a forest here. It looks like a very pastoral scene. There's a lot of woods. There's trees all over the place. It looks kind of hilly, like there are hills around around wherever this is. There are hints here and there, like especially over here, that we've got some green foliage up here, and the rest of the foliage is brown, suggesting this is in the winter, maybe in the very late fall. This has got to be 3 or 4 weeks after the first freeze. But we've got this foliage up here in the corner that's green, suggesting there might be a few pine trees or spruce or fir, juniper, some kind of evergreen tree. We have another place over here, right here, and now this is just out there in the middle of nowhere. This is probably some kind of vine that's growing on a branch of one of these trees, and the vine is still green, still growing, through the cool weather of the winter. And so this vine is doing better than the tree right now. What else do we have in this picture? We have a lot of, there's just leaves. Look at this, leaves on the ground, leaves of all of these trees that have fallen from the branches to the ground, and they're just covering all of this forest floor. This forest is just, the forest floor is leaves, nothing but leaves. Out here in the open, there are a few green growing things, like maybe these are bushes or young evergreen tree seedlings, really young trees. But they look to be small plants that are going to stay green over the winter. There's some back here too, if you notice. There looks like some kind of bush or something back there, maybe a privet or something like that would be, holding on to its leaves in the wintertime. Also, in this image, we have right here some kind of pole. This is the only sign in this whole picture that I see of human involvement. The only obvious sign, anyway. This has been cut. This pole or post has been cut right there. possibly to hold up another piece of wood for a fence, or something like that. You see it's cut at a straight line right there, and it is leaning. It's leaning. It's not standing basically straight up. It's leaning. Um, let's see, how can I draw this? So it's leaning. It's not growing basically straight up or down. It's at an angle. So maybe down here at the base of it, where it enters the ground, there's the dirt is loose, the soil is loose, as one might expect in a forest, or it may have been hit by something. Maybe some animal ran into it or something like that. It may have been hit. Let's see. I'm going to try and guess what kind of trees some of these are. If you look back here, there's a sort of a hanging branch that's sort of hanging way down, hanging downward. And that gives me the idea that that's some kind of spruce tree. Let's see. We've got some of these trees are apparently very tall, very straight. This one right here, this one right here. I don't know what kind of trees these are though, because I can't see any foliage, any leaves or anything. We've got one back here that the trunk looks white. So that could be a sycamore tree, or something like that. Let's move on to the next image. Okay, what in the world do we have here? This is Korean right here. I believe that's almost certainly Korean writing. So I have no idea what this is going to be, this image. It looks like something math related. We've got a circle here with some lines that intersect right here. You've got these lines that intersect. You've got the axes down here, the X and Y axes. So Y usually goes up and down, X goes left and right, usually in math. Let's see, what else is there to see? You've got another, let's see, we've got 3 circles with, from the look of it, 3 lines that intersect in each of these 3 circles. Let's see, something about 360 right here, this line going straight down. I don't know what that's about. That's probably some kind of measure of distance. Something that was 360 meters or 360 feet. I don't know exactly. We've got some more Korean writing right here. And I don't know the Korean system of writing. I know what it looks like when I see it, but I don't know, what any of it says. So what in the world? What does that say right there? Let's see. There's something else right here. This looks like a left to right. So left to right, measure of distance. Something is going 65 feet or meters or, yeah, probably meters. So this is probably meters. We've got 2 M's right here. And I have no idea, as I said, what this Korean writing all means. There's probably some kind of formula that I would be able to recognize if I knew how to read Korean, but not knowing how, I'm at a bit of a loss. Let's go to the next image. Oh, okay. So we have MC9, December 2013, MC9, and it is in Bali, Indonesia. MC9. This C in the middle of it suggests that it's some kind of conference, and possibly the 9th conference of its kind, that it took place in December of 2013, as I said, is at least strongly implied, but I don't know anything else about it. 3rd to the 6th of December 2013. It happened in Bali, Indonesia. So on the island of Bali. Let's see. What else can we say? We've got WTO, OMC, Bali 13. Bali 13. I'm wondering what's going on here. So we have 8 people here. Mostly they appear to be fairly advanced in years, certainly over 40, except for this lady here. This lady could be in her 30s or even late 20s, but it's difficult to say. This lady at the end possibly is in her 50s or 60s. This gentleman certainly appears to be old. His hairline is receding. He's going bald, apparently. Let's see. This lady is the only one who has an article of clothing that stands. I mean, her dress just pops off of the screen. That hot pink color just really pops. It really attracts attention. All of these 3 men to the right, the 3 men on the right, are all wearing suits. They're wearing a jacket and shirt and dress pants and dress shoes. This is the only one of these 3 men who is not wearing a tie, a necktie. He's not wearing a tie. This gentleman here, this man, could be from Africa. I don't know what this costume, this outfit that he's wearing signifies, but it's very striking. It's unusual for someone from the United States to see somebody dressed like that. He's wearing pants. He's wearing some kind of like khaki pants, probably underneath this robe or whatever it is. He's got a hat on, and he is the only one of this group that has a hat on. These could be sneakers. They appear to be less formal shoes than the other 3 men are wearing. Let's see. 3 of the women, 3 out of 4 women are wearing glasses. This lady's glasses appear to have some kind of sun protection. built in. This lady appears to be wearing sunglasses, not just uh, glasses. This lady appears to be wearing some kind of ordinary eyeglasses, to vision correcting glasses. This lady here is carrying with her over her shoulder a purse. Wonder why none of these other women are wearing purses, but I don't know. Let's see. These ladies, this lady here, this lady here, this lady here, this lady here, they all appear to have shoes on or some kind of footwear that is not covering their toes. They're called open toe shoes. Um, though these right here on this lady at the far right, uh, it's difficult to tell. The color isn't uh, the color of the shoes, I think, is just very similar to the color of human flesh. But now that I'm looking at it, those look like they actually are covering her toes. They're covering her feet. Um, let's see. What else can we say? Okay. We have at least a couple of gentlemen here who it would seem are from somewhere in the Far East, um, Southeast Asia, possibly, but I would think more likely uh, China, Japan, and possibly South Korea. Um, there's really not much else I can tell about this group of people. We've got this lady here at the far left, this gentleman in the robe or whatever you would call it, this gentleman near the center who appears has a very dignified appearance, possibly of Japanese or Korean descent, possibly Chinese. This lady and this gentleman. There are five of these people who have some kind of name tag or badge that they have around their necks. This lady is wearing a necklace. Let's see, can't tell with this lady or anybody else if they have necklaces. We've got a wristwatch being worn by this lady, wristwatch being worn here. Let's see, this gentleman has a wristwatch on, and this lady also has what looks like some kind of bracelet um, on her other wrist. Uh, ring here. Let's see. Ring. This person has a ring. This person has a ring. This gentleman has a ring, and it may be that this lady has a ring right there. So we've got at least four of these people, I think, that I see with rings on, three or four, and so they could be married. That might be the case, but that might not be the case. They might just be wearing it out of some kind of custom of which I'm unaware, or for the simple appearance of it. Rings are often worn by people who are married, though. Let's see. Let's go to the next image, and we'll end with one more image. Ooh. This Lonoverlegen Sergebu Den Haag persconferentie zitten close bestandilner. Okay, so uh, this is probably either Dutch or South African. Um, That's definitely a Germanic language. It's definitely some kind of very far northern European language. So it could be Dutch, but it could also be South African, as South Africa is um, was historically colonized by the Dutch. There's no other hint that I can tell. Klus bestanden. Um, see, if I Den Haag. So this is probably the Hague. So it actually is in the Netherlands. I would be willing to say pretty definitively. Um, the Hague, as we would say mostly in English. Okay, so what you apparently have here is some kind of conference table or something going on, that you have these few gentlemen sitting around, and you have this other person here, and they're dressed very nicely. This is not a casual occasion. This gentleman here even has a lapel pin. There's a tie. There's a handkerchief in his top front pocket. There's a handkerchief in this gentleman's pocket. Don't know what's going on there. There's also a handkerchief in this gentleman's front top pocket. We've got this gentleman wearing a tie. Let's see, this fellow back here is also wearing a tie. This guy here is wearing a tie. Let's see. We've got also, he's wearing a tie. He's wearing a tie. This person seems to be one of two people that are actually looking at the camera. We appear to have these two, this very young man and this older gentleman right here, this older man, who are looking at the camera apparently. This guy's wearing glasses, and he seems to have been taken by surprise. And this guy seems to be, I don't know, he seems to be like perhaps tired or bored, or not. He's just not feeling very good about all of this that's going on around him. His attitude is detached from what's going on. He's not. It doesn't appear that he wishes to be there. That he doesn't look like he wants to be in this room. Let's see. This older gentleman here, I know he's older because of his salt and pepper hair with this tinge of white up there at the very top. This gentleman here, who also appears to be on the older side, possibly in his 50s or 60s, he is carrying a newspaper. There's no telling what language that's in, possibly Dutch, possibly, it's as it's in the Netherlands, but there's no telling. He's carrying that newspaper, and he has his gaze fixed on something over here, as does this fellow. This gentleman is also fixed on this end of the room. This gentleman here, whose face has been cut in half by the photographer, he also is fixated in in this direction. This person here appears to have his head turned. This person here might be a designated speaker or something. He may be collecting his thoughts so that he can address the concerns or whatever are being articulated by whoever is talking that these people are all paying attention to. But this guy seems to be either responding or on the verge of responding. He seems to be ready to talk. He's got his hands in sort of steepled, his arms steepled in this shape right here, where they meet at the top. His hands are steepled. His thumbs are against his chin. Let's see. This older gentleman here is also paying attention to something at this end of the room. There's somebody speaking, somebody acting, as is this gentleman, who I have not observed before really closely. It almost looks like this gentleman has taken off a pair of glasses and his hand appears to be possibly in motion, like he's fidgeting or something. He's possibly, his hand is in motion as he's considering the words being spoken by whoever it is he's paying attention to in this direction. There is this picture hanging on the wall. I can't really tell anything about it. Looks possibly like a landscape. Like there's, some kind of maybe houses or a hill right here. And then possibly the sky right here. I can't really tell much about it, though. This gentleman here in the corner is smoking. That would be a big no-no in rooms like this today. They tend to frown upon smoking these days. But he appears to be quite focused. Look at his eyes. Look at his eyes. They're almost closed as he's looking down at this cigarette. He's appears to be very focused on that cigarette. This gentleman here, I don't know what the deal is with this gentleman. I don't know what's going on, but he has a very, very wavy hairstyle. I don't know what's going on. He's just got this strikingly wavy hairstyle. All these other gentlemen, their hair appears to be fairly straight. This fellow here has a pompadour that sticks way out in front of his head, this pompadour hairstyle. And it's slightly wavy, but it's nothing compared to this hairstyle up here in the corner. That is waves. It's like, waves of the ocean. He's got a wavy hairstyle, that guy. And then there's this guy. He's the largest gentleman in the room. I don't know what else to say about him. He appears to have a very large nose and something on his nose right there, perhaps some kind of wart or something. Yeah, but he is the largest man in the room. He's got a very round head and what we would call a double chin down here. He's very jowly. His cheeks are very, very protuberant. They're very like loose. They look loose, his cheeks. Um, and yeah. So I was trying to think to, I've noticed this item a few times, but I can't figure out what it might be. Um, I have no really good ideas. Um, this gentleman here, right behind that, has his hand on the back of the chair. There's apparently empty, lonely chair here. These these two gentlemen here certainly appear to be having some kind of hushed discussion of their own. They're not paying the same attention to whatever is going on down in this end of the room as everyone else. It looks like they're talking to each other. And then this gentleman here sitting at the table with the glasses, he doesn't really look very interested in whatever is going on. He just doesn't look like he's paying very close attention. He's got, I think this is probably his pen that he's writing with, and I would be interested to see what he had been writing. He probably was writing something related to this gentleman, whatever he's about to say, but there's no knowing. There's nobody with any facial hair in this picture. Everybody that I see is completely well shaven. There are long sideburns. This gentleman has some fairly long sideburns. This gentleman here has some fairly long, lengthy sideburns. The horn-rimmed glasses right here are suggesting like perhaps the 60s or the 1960s or the 70s. Also the hairstyle like this one here, especially with the long sideburns here and here. This is suggesting 60s or 70s, but I can't really tell about the year. And not knowing the circumstances of the conference, whether it was the conference in The Hague that established the system of apostles, or some kind of something related to justice, like the Hague Criminal Court and all of that. I don't know. So I can't really tell much else about this picture. That's a lot of detail, though. That's a lot of detail. So we'll end it here, and we'll see how long this video has been, and then it looks like it's going to be at least 30 minutes. So you'll get plenty of listening practice, I think, from this video. I will stop it there, and let me know if this has been useful.